Welcome to another edition of Smalltalk for You. This morning I wanted to go through a brief overview of processes in VA Smalltalk, and it's similar to processes in VisualWorks and Pharo and Squeak and any other Smalltalk, but there are a few slight differences I wanted to cover. If you browse class process, you'll find that you've got a class that handles processes in Smalltalk. The main thing you want to understand about processes in Smalltalk is that outside a couple of exceptions in a couple of relatively lightly used Smalltalks, threads or processes in Smalltalk are lightweight or green processes. They're not heavyweight operating system threads of control. They are within the VM. They are controlled by the Smalltalk system. They don't represent processes or threads on the host operating system, whatever that might be. So when I create a process in VA Smalltalk, I'm not creating a heavyweight process or thread. I'm creating a lightweight green thread. Now the other thing to be aware of in VA Smalltalk is if you go to Processor Scheduler, you'll find that the priority levels, if I go through here, Active Priority, and I can figure this out by going to this workspace. Let's do this processor user interrupt priority. I'll just inspect that. That's 4. It turns out that in VA Smalltalk, we kind of use the old-fashioned way of doing this. If you're familiar with Pharo and Squeak and VisualWorks, those Smalltalks have moved to a process model between 1 to 100. In VA, you still have 1 to 8. So you have process levels, and they're named. So you have things like that. You have high I/O priority, low I/O priority, user interrupt, user scheduling. These are named priorities. You should not use the numbers because instantiations may change these to the same kind of extended scale that exists in the other Smalltalk at some point in time. Instead of hard coding a 3, you'd want to use this name. Now to see how some of this works, let's go ahead and set up a process. And this is real easy. I went through blocks in our last screencast. What you do is set up a block, and then what you do is you have a fork or fork out a specific process priority, and you'll create a process. So here I'm creating a very simple one. I'm going to set a condition of 1. While a condition is less than 10, I'm just going to dump messages to the transcript and execute this. So I'll go ahead and highlight this, and the way I kick off my process is to fork, and by default it'll send it to the user scheduling priority, which is pretty much right in the middle. I think it's 4 or 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and execute this. And if I look up here in the transcript, you see it printed 2 through 9 because I'm doing the transcript show after I bop this up. So I started at 1 and I go up. So that's how this all works. Now I can also do processes at a different priority, so I could set it up at a higher priority or a lower one. Not going to make a whole lot of difference here, but let's go ahead and execute it. And again, if we go up here, you'll see there they are again, just starting again from 1. So operated very much the same way. The only difference is, and you couldn't see it here, the priority was different. But this allows you to set processes up that are going to run in the background and run at a different priority. Now in another screencast, I'll go through the way that process model works, but this is all there is to setting processes up in VA Smalltalk. Set up a block, make sure you have a condition where you can terminate the block of code, and then fork it. Now keep in mind that again, if I do this, and I do an inspect, everything in Smalltalk comes back with something. So if I inspect, I get a process. Notice that it's suspended because by the time I got the inspector up, it was done executing. Very quick process. But once I have this hold on it, I can use the API supported by processes, which I can go back here to class process. I can reset its priority. I can suspend it, which would put it into a wait state. I can resume it. So if it was in a wait state, it'll resume it. Or I can terminate it. So if you had a condition which was something really simple like true while true, which I've actually seen in code where you want some process to run in the background pretty much forever until it's terminated, then this is how you would grab that process and terminate it. Keep a hold on it, and when you're ready to kill it, then terminate to it, which of course assumes that you kept a hold on it. So that's about it for today. Until next time, have fun with whatever Smalltalk you're using.